Ever heard of a country declaring war on a bunch of birds and losing? Buckle up, because this isn't a joke. It's the story of Australia's Great Emu War of 1932. Imagine this. You're a World War I veteran. The government gave you a plot of land in Western Australia to farm wheat. Life is tough, but you're making it work. Then, out of nowhere, an army of 20,000 emus shows up. And these aren't just any birds. Emus are huge, fast, and apparently they have an insatiable appetite for wheat. They're trampling your fences, devouring your crops, and basically ruining your livelihood. You and your fellow farmers are desperate. So you do what anyone would do. You call the army. Yes, you heard that right. The farmers, many of them ex-soldiers, petitioned the Minister of Defense, Sir George Pearce. Their logic was simple. We've got a pest problem, and the military has machine guns. Problem, meet solution. Sir George agreed, probably thinking it would be great target practice and a fantastic PR move. What could possibly go wrong? So, the Royal Australian Artillery, led by Major GPW Meredith, deployed to the Campion district. They were armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Their mission, to engage and neutralize the emu enemy. The media was all over it. A cinematographer even tagged along to capture the glorious victory. The first engagement happened on November 2nd. The soldiers spotted a flock of about 50 emus. They set up their guns, took aim, and opened fire. The emus, however, were not impressed. As soon as the bullets started flying, they scattered in all directions, running erratically, making them incredibly difficult targets. After firing a ton of ammo, the soldiers had only managed to take down a handful of birds. The rest just vanished into the bush. Not a great start. A couple of days later, the soldiers tried a new tactic. They spotted a huge flock of over 1,000 emus near a local dam. This was their chance. They set up an ambush, hiding the machine gun on a truck. As they closed in, ready to unleash chaos, the gunner opened fire. But the emus were just too quick. They broke into small, agile groups and sprinted away. The gunner tried to give chase, but the bumpy ride made it impossible to aim. To add insult to injury, one of the Lewis guns jammed. The final tally for this grand ambush: maybe a dozen emus. The rest had escaped, completely unharmed. One soldier was even quoted saying that the emus were as difficult to hit as Zulus. Major Meredith was stunned. He noted in his report that the emus seemed to have organized themselves. He said each flock had a leader, a big black-plumed bird that would keep watch while the others caused destruction. If this leader sensed danger, it would give a signal, and the entire flock would scatter before the soldiers could even get a good shot. He said if they had a military division with the same bullet-carrying capacity as these birds, it would face any army in the world. He basically admitted that the emus were better soldiers than his own men. After about a week of this embarrassing failure, and with almost 2,500 rounds fired for very few kills, the military operation was called off. The media had a field day, mocking the army's defeat at the hands of flightless birds. One politician in the Australian Parliament sarcastically asked if medals would be awarded to the EMU soldiers for their victory. But the emu problem didn't go away. The birds continued to raid the farms. The farmers, still desperate, pleaded for the army to come back. And believe it or not, the military operation was relaunched. This time, they were slightly more successful, but it was still far from a decisive victory. By mid-December, after firing nearly 10,000 rounds, they had officially killed 986 emus. But here's the thing. It was estimated that another 2,500 died from injuries later. Still, with thousands more emus roaming free, it was a drop in the ocean. The operation was deemed a failure, and the troops were permanently withdrawn. So, what happened in the end? The government realized that machine guns weren't the answer. Instead, they adopted a more practical solution. They offered a bounty for emu skins and built stronger, emu-proof fences. This turned out to be far more effective than a full-blown military campaign. The Great Emu War remains one of history's most bizarre and hilarious military conflicts. It's a classic tale of underestimating your opponent, and a reminder that sometimes nature just finds a way to win. It proves that even with modern weaponry, fighting an army of giant, fast-running birds on their home turf is a recipe for disaster. The emus won the war, and their legend lives on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this weird piece of history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange stories. See you next time.